like and cut.
Right.
And and action. Hi guys. So I get a lot of questions and a lot of compliments and comments on my nails, as I have been doing them for a very long time. So I thought I would take you guys through just a quick tutorial, the things that I use, the brand that I prefer, and what it looks like in order for me to get these nails done and to be glamorous. I don't know about you guys, but when my nails are done, I just feel like a brand new woman. So first and foremost, the very first thing that I do is I always do a full manicure. So I do cuticle cut, I soak my nails, I have a cuticle softener. I don't use it very often because my skin tends to get smooth pretty quickly and I don't have to worry about that. But I use a couple different tools. So this fancy little cuticle pusher backer, I'm sure there's a technical term for it, but I'm gonna call it a cuticle pusher backer because that's what I use it for. I typically only use the round end here, not the pointed end. I use it to softly push back my cuticles. I have plastic ones, but they tend not to work as well. And then I have two different cuticle cutting tools that I use. This one has been with me for a very, very long time. It's starting to get dull. I recently purchased this one, but it's a little aggressive, so I'm still kind of transitioning between the two as this one becomes a little less aggressive on my cuticles, because cutting your cuticles is by far one of the worst pains. It's about as bad as a paper cut, let's be honest. Once I get done cutting out my cuticles, getting them to a point that I like so that the nail beds are ready, I usually file my nails down to the shape that I like. And so I use standard tools. These have obviously been with me for quite some time. You can see that they're utilized. I use a file, and I think it's 100 grit. I don't think it's, oh yeah, look, 100, 180 grit are the two that I use. I typically use the 180 more often, and then a standard buffer. I usually just get these at like the swap meet in bulk. I haven't gotten them in a while because swap meets aren't open right now, but if needed, I use a set of clippers. I don't use them very often though. I have this tool. I don't use it so much during the manicure process as I use it if I make any mistakes when I'm doing my nails. So I also have alcohol swab pads. This allows me to clean the nail bed and to make sure it's free of any debris or anything else when I'm getting ready to apply the gel polish, because it just makes for a much smoother transition when you're painting the nail. I use the Sun UV light. I got this from Amazon. The very first UV light that I had was the Sally Hansen. It only fit like 2 to 3 fingers at a time though, because it was really small. And it was my start kit. I started doing my own gels in 2012. Yeah, in 2012. So it's been about 9 years that I've been doing my own. I haven't had acrylics since then. That was last time I had acrylics, and honestly, it's just saved me so much money. You guys know how expensive gels can be, and I do my own nails every 2 to 3 weeks, just depending on how I feel, and I get compliments all the time. Even when I go to get a pedicure, they ask if I need a new gel manicure, and I tell them no thanks, I do my own at home. So it works for me. The gel lights are pretty inexpensive. I got this one on Amazon about 6 months ago because my Sally Hansen one was finally starting to get a little suspicious and sketchy when I would be using it, and the worst thing you want is for it to go bad and not be able to UV set your nails when you're in the middle of a manicure. So like I said, you can get them on Amazon, and this one has a 30 and a 60-second setting, which is one of the other reasons that I got it, because the Sally Hansen was only a 30-second, and sometimes I like to cure for 60 seconds, especially if it's a darker polish. It just tends to work a little better. So over the last 9 years, I have accumulated a gel collection, which I love, because no matter what time of year, no matter how I feel, no matter what I think I'm going to be wearing, if I were going to be going anywhere and it weren't COVID, I have options. So as you can see, I have about 45, 50 different colors. They range from light pinks, nudes, whites, all the way to black. Even black with a little bit of sparkles inside. I personally have only ever used the brand Gelish. I know there's a lot of other brands out there, and when I first bought the initial kit, because it was a Sally Hansen kit, it came with Sally Hansen polish and colors and the initial foundation as well as the top coat. I started using Gelish after that because it only came with I think 1 or 2 colors in the beginning, and the Gelish polish I have found sticks way better than any other. So I've enjoyed using it. One thing I will say from my own personal experience is when you're gonna have like a foundation and a top coat, make sure that it's the same brand as your polish. So you don't wanna have a Gelish base and a Gelish top coat, but then some random ABC brand as your color, because the pH levels and the things within the polishes, they work together in order to set together. So I have found that because I had one off brand once and it started peeling in like 2 to 3 days, which my nails don't usually start peeling for at least 2 weeks when they're really starting to grow out, because I've been using them, or I was out in the garden or whatever the case may be. So it makes a really big difference if you keep with the same brand. So you can find Gelish on Amazon and get the bigger bottles like this for the same price that you can get the minis that are only this big. Like these are 9 mLs, but these are 15. That's the size difference between the two. If you get them at like Sally Hansen, you can only get the minis, and they're about $13 to $14. If you watch on Amazon, you can get the larger ones for the same price. They might take a week or 2 to come, but as long as you're patient, who really cares? It also comes, most of the sets come with the pH bond, which tends to be super important. It's kind of like a dehydrator or a primer. Like when you go to get your nails done at the salon and they prime your nails, they're essentially just drying it out to make sure that the base coat will stick to the nail really well, and not have to worry about it lifting as bad. So I've actually sometimes forgotten to do the pH, and maybe it's in my head, maybe it's not, but I can tell a really big difference when I've done the pH and I've dehydrated my nails prior to. For the longest time, I was peeling off my nails and really not doing them justice. I recently got a nail polish remover, which I'll show you when this polish comes off in a couple weeks. I chose the Tasty Eggplant today, so I'm really excited about this color because I love it. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching me do my nails. Like I said, I always start with the manicure. I go from there to get the nails prepped and ready. I choose my colors. Every single time you do a coat, you cure for 30 to 60 seconds. It's really your own personal preference, ladies' choice. Then once you're cured through, my favorite part about having gels is you're done. They're dry, you're ready to go. You don't have to worry about sitting and holding them or blow drying them or getting, an instant dry polish for the top that doesn't really work. They're set, they're ready to go. I can slip my boots on my feet and go run, errands if I really wanted to. I could do whatever I want. I can wash my hair, I can go in the shower. So if you don't do your nails at home, maybe this will inspire you to do so. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to comment below and I'd love to answer them. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. But nonetheless, I look forward to continuing to show you guys the different colors that I have and how much fun it is to do the glam at home. Talk to you soon. Bye.